This is Dr. Hakim. I'm the Chief Researcher of the AI Research Center in TII. So TII is part of the ATRC, Advanced Technology Research Council. So the AI Research Center is at the heart of the AI and generative AI work that is done in TII, and it's at the origin of Falcon. Falcon is a large language model that is basically built using large amounts of data and using artificial intelligence techniques to provide systems that are commonly known as chatbots, but actually they are more than just chatbots. So we are at the origin of Falcon, as we said, but we have also other models that are specifically for Arabic, for example. That is the Noor large language models that has been also released by the TII and the AI Research Center. We have started working on the artificial intelligence and generative AI and Falcon since 2022. So in May 2023, we have released the first version or release of the large language model at 40 billion parameter. And then, like slightly later, around August, I believe, 2023, we have released the 180 billion parameter models. These models actually were the initial models, and they were sort of a warm-up for TII to get into the race. We have achieved interesting results, but at the same time, in terms of performance, we were still, as everyone, at the beginning of the race. We have continued working on these larger language models. We have built Falcon 2, 11B, around April 2024. And the interesting part of that is that in addition to the text, we were able to handle images. So these large language models, they started actually understanding images, what is in the image, what are we trying to describe as a scene in the image, so on and so forth. Then we looked later on to integrate a different way of building these models. Everybody uses a special structure that is called transformers. So we went further and we looked into the SSLMs, or the state space models, where we have actually changed completely the transformers. And we have built and released the first large language model that was built on the SSLMs around August, September 2024. Then we went again further, so we focused on small models actually. The reason is that we wanted to get models that are applicable on the ground, right? So it's nice to have a huge model, but if nobody is using it, so it's slightly difficult. So we focused on this, and we released the late December of 2024, the third family of the Falcon 3, where we have demonstrated that we were achieving the most or the highest performance among all the large language models that are under 13 billion parameter models. Nowadays, these models are basically used by many users. We have around more than 45 million downloads of the different families of these large language models. We have a lot of discussions and a lot of collaborations with government entities. More than 20 government entities are using and exploring these models. We have also private companies exploring this all around the world, but also countries. We are in discussion with at least 7 countries to look into how to use this. We are adapting them on the language side, for example, and the cultural perspective for each country and for each needs that they have. In terms of the difference between Falcon and ChatGPT, for example, first of all, Falcon is an open source, meaning that you can have access to the whole model. As a developer, for example, you understand exactly what this model is doing. So, and you can take it, set it up, build your application on top of that, so on and so forth, right? So the other difference is that, again, we are pushing a lot for the open source because we believe that this is the future for the thing. The data that we are using is different in the sense that the cleaning is different, the type of the data are different than the ChatGPT. In terms of usage, most of the users, you don't see it as an interface as what we have in ChatGPT, for example, because it's used by developers to solve specific problems, which means it's hidden behind the applications that you see. So today, currently with the Falcon 3 model, we have actually built an interface exactly the same as ChatGPT, and people, they can use it. Okay? So we receive millions of queries per day, and it's open for everyone to ask queries, just as a demonstration on the capabilities of these things. For the future aspects of Falcon, so one of the things we have is that, as we mentioned it when we released the Falcon 3, we have some work ongoing on reinforcing the multimodality. So we have models that should be able to integrate image, video, and audio within the family. We are pushing a lot on the reasoning part, so to make these reasoning capabilities of these models even much more sophisticated. And down the road, eventually, the ultimate objective is to reach this AGI that we are talking about by combining different modalities, by using more sophisticated architectures, and by reducing the cost of training of these models.